everyone, and welcome back to the Final Siren podcast. Today, we're just going to be covering the first week of finals, what we think is going to happen, all that sort of stuff, just a bit of a preview. First off, we'll quickly go to tips, margins, and anytime try scorers. We'll start on the Friday night game, Penrith versus Parramatta. Boys, this should be an absolute cracker.
Yeah, look, I don't know who to tip this game. It can go either way, honestly. I know Parramatta have beaten the last two, but you just never know. This is the one game where Penrith will want to step up for the finals. If they win, they'll probably get a home prelim, and I don't see anyone stopping them from there. So this is probably their best chance to lose a game in the final series. So, look, I'm looking forward to it. Perfect time slot, Friday night, the Western Sydney Derby. I just can't wait to see how this plays out.
As much as I'll be cheering on the Eels, I still don't think they'll be strong enough in Penrith. If it was a Para home game, then I'd probably go Para, but I think Penrith will still be too strong no matter where it is. They've got all their players back this week. We'll go Penrith 1-12, and Viliami kick out anytime try scorer.
Good tip. And you, Faraz, what's your tips?
I've been with Parramatta all week, but now I'm just going to slightly head towards Penrith at home. I'm going to go Panthers 1-12. I'm going to go score of 24-20, actually 18 points to 14. Bit of a medium low scoring game, and I'm going to go Stephen Crichton for a try.
Well put. I'm going to go Parramatta Eels. I just think they've had the wood over Penrith the last few years, and they nearly beat them to the grand final earlier this year. But I'll go Penrith.
They got robbed.
Apparently they got robbed. It was 8-6, I think, that game, which was close. I'm going to go Parramatta to win this one, 1-12. I'm going to go Parramatta to actually win this by 2 points. The margin, I think the actual score will be something like, 14-12 or 12-10, something quite like that. And my anytime try scorer, I'm going to go King Gutho. I reckon he'll. I don't like calling him King Gutho, but Clint Gutherson, I'll go with him.
King.
The other king is Wally Lewis. You got to accept that here. We'll move on to the two Saturday games. Storm versus Raiders is the first one, and then Sharks versus Cowboys. Boys, how do you see either of these games going? Start on either one. I'll let either of you start.
You can go first, Lachlan.
Same as the first one. I'll be cheering on Canberra, but I still think Storm will be too strong in Melbourne. They've got Jerome Hughes back, which is a huge in for Storm. I think Storm will be too strong. I'm actually going to go Storm 13 plus. Only being in Melbourne because I don't know. I just think the Storm will be way too strong on the night. And I'll go Xavier Coates for a double.
Xavier Coates for 2. And you for us?
It's crazy. Raiders in the top 8. Who would have saw that coming? We all thought this team would probably be there, but it is what it is. And look, congratulations to the Raiders. Look, Canberra have definitely gotten the wood over Melbourne in recent times, especially in Melbourne. They've also beaten them in a final before in 2019, but I just can't see Melbourne getting knocked out first week. I just don't think Canberra are necessarily that same sort of team from 2019, 2017, 16, all that, etc. So, look, it'll be a close game for sure. I don't think it'll be 13 plus, like Lachlan said. I think Canberra would definitely make them earn for the win, but can't go past Melbourne, honestly, in Melbourne, regardless of how the recent form there against Canberra. I'm going to go Melbourne 1-12. I'm going to go Cameron Munster, anytime try scorer.
Well put. I'm going to go, again, away from what you two boys have said. Raiders, just like the Parramatta Eels have had the wood over Penrith, I'm going to go Raiders because they've had the wood over Storm at Amy Park for the last, I think they've won 4 of their last 5 there. I'm going to go with that, and I'm going to go.
Just to pause you there, do we consider Parramatta and Canberra winning an upset, or no?
I think Raiders is definitely an upset.
Yeah,
Parramatta. I think there's a lot of people actually tipping Parramatta to win.
Well, Parramatta are actually paying $3.10.
Yeah, Penrith's 137,
and
Raiders aren't even that far out either. They're paying $3.25. So, I think people are looking at the facts. I consider Raiders an upset. Eels not so much. I'm expecting Eels to win, but I'll go Raiders. I'll definitely go Raiders 1-12, and I'll go. I'm going to go for the margin. For the anytime try scorer. I might go with Xavier Savage. He's been in some pretty good form. And we'll move on to the second game of Saturday. One that's definitely going to be a good game. Sharks and Cowboys. I didn't see either of these teams actually making the prelim, but they'll fight it out for a spot in the prelim. What are your predictions for this game, boys?
You know, the crazy thing about this game is that compared to the other teams in the finals, I do not rate highly of these two sides, which is crazy. They're in the top four. And the problem is that, like, I don't really see any side as a threat necessarily, but one of them is going to be in a prelim either way at home. So there's going to be one winner. It's so tough to tip because both sides haven't been in the finals from last season. I think Sharks haven't really played anyone necessarily good. And when the Cowboys have come to Sydney, we all know how they've gone in recent times against the Rabbitohs and the Roosters. Look, this is such a tough game to tip, but I am going to go for the Cowboys only because I feel like they're going to experience from like playing the much better sides compared to Cronulla, who had a bit of an easy run home and who haven't really got any like fair match practice, and they've kind of struggled against like the struggling sides. At one point, it was tied up with Newcastle for one half. Then they only beat the Doggies by a 10-12-0 margin. So, yeah, Sharks looking a bit shaky before the finals, and I think the Cows will just benefit from playing the better sides. Yeah, but wouldn't be surprised if Sharks win this at home. I'm going to go Cows 1-12. Cows by 6 and Nano for a double.
Well, not many people will agree with me on this, but I don't see Cowboys being any chance. I strongly stand by Sharks 13+ for this game.
You're off your head, mate.
The Cowboys, when they travel to Sydney, they fall to a team like the West Tigers. Their defense has bigger holes than the bloody moon. It's absolute, like, Sharks will win 13+. Mark my words.
No.
Wait and watch. You'll all come back. Oh, lucky. I always thought Cowboys.
Nah, it's not happening, mate.
And your anytime try scorer?
Dale Finucane.
Dale Finucane. Ooh,
no.
That's a big pick.
Don't.
I'm gonna go Cowboys 1-12, but I reckon it's only just inside the 1-12. I reckon it's Cowboys by 12. I know that's a big 10 actually. I'll change it. Cowboys by 10, which is a pretty big bet. And I'm gonna go anytime try scorer Griffin Neame. I reckon he is a prop, but he's been in some pretty good try scoring form of recent. So I guess we'll see who's right at the end of the day there. No bets this time, I don't think. But we'll move on to possibly the best game of finals week 1. It could be between this or Penrith versus Para. Roosters versus Rabbitohs, an age-old rivalry. This is a pretty big game. It's an elimination final. The Roosters lost Joey Manu. The Rabbitohs, they get back Cook. I think Murray's fit to play, apparently. I think they might be getting back Campbell Graham. So, big game, big troops coming back. What do you boys think about this game?
This is such a treat for rugby league fans. I mean, you don't get to see Roosters Rabbitohs playing twice in a week, especially at the new stadium last week, opening a new chapter in rugby league. Then you've got them playing in a sudden death semi-final, basically. It's going to be such a cracking contest. I know last week the Roosters didn't really look threatened, but there were so many chances at the end of the game where Souths could have won that game. And I think with troops back, Roosters have also got some troops back, so it does even up a bit. I think Souths. I'm actually going to play the reverse card. I'm going to go South Sydney to win this. I think they'll be looking for revenge. I think Latrell will have a much better game. I think we'll be determined. And I've heard something about Souths fans trying to get tickets to the game, but there's some error coming on the computer, and that when they refresh the page, they haven't managed to able to get tickets and sold out for the day. So, yeah, it's already spicing up to a hot encounter, but I'm going to go South Sydney with no real confidence. It's probably a flip of the coin. And it will be unfortunate for the loser of this game because we all thought these are two sides that are probably playing for a semi-final, prelim smoke type of team. But it is what it is, and can't wait for Sunday. I might be going to the game as well.
I've got the Bunnies this week. Only because of their inclusions and the Roosters. The Bunnies would have learned a lot from last week and what needs to happen to get over the line. The Bunnies were too slow off the mark. The Roosters just started way too quick for them. But the Roosters will go with the same game plan, I would think, kicking high to Latrell, getting up in his face, taking him down. But then you've also got, with how physical it was last week, this week you've got a different man called Damien Cook in the ruck area. where when those forwards are tired, that's where Damien Cook can shine. I think he'll add a lot to the Rabbitohs this week, and I think they'll win 1-12. And I've got Lachlan Ilias to score a try.
That's brilliant.
I'm going to go Victor Radley on return.
Victor Radley on return. That's a brilliant bet. I'm going to go along with you guys. I'm going to go Rabbitohs. I mean, for me, I just think, like he said, I reckon they'll learn. They'll learn from what happened, and I do think with inclusions of Campbell Graham, who's back, Damien Cook, who's back, and that's a really big in, and Cameron Murray, who should hopefully play the full game this time and not get knocked out in the first minute. It should be a good game, and I absolutely love that this is an elimination final because both these teams will be giving it 100%, and they hate each other. The rivalry is great. If this was a prelim, I reckon they'd still be going at each other, but I have a feeling no team wants to sit. No team wants to sit out for the rest of the season.
It's not hard for me to say that if the Roosters probably lose this, would it be a bit laughable? Because like everyone's talking them up to be in the grand final. Everyone's saying that they're favourites to win the premiership alongside Penrith. Do you think it'll be funny if they get out first week, considering all the hype weeks of the recent form?
I wouldn't say funny. I would say it's.
Well, I'm saying in the sense it's like everyone's talking them up. They look like they're like on the top of the ladder and all that etc. Everyone's talking them like they're definitely going to be the 100%. The team to watch out for.
Yeah, I think. Well, in my opinion, I think people are just overestimating them a bit. I mean, they've had some good form the last few weeks, but they were without Joey Manu. Finals is a completely different arena, and I have a feeling Rabbitohs will just put it on. If you'd ask me, if Roosters went on to win this, I think they're a big chance to go on to make the grand final.
This is why you got to finish top four. That's why you got to finish top four.
Exactly. But I don't see them winning. I see Rabbitohs winning. I see Rabbitohs winning only still 1-12 because I feel like this will be a cracking game. And I'd have Latrell Mitchell to score a try anytime. Completely give it to the crowd. Completely give it to them. But that.
I mean, you can be like Cowboys, finish top 4 and you're out straight sets.
True.
They're not going to be out straight sets.
I'll say this. I do not want to be the loser of the Sharks and Cowboys game because regardless who wins on Sunday, I don't think the Cows and Sharks could beat either Rabbitohs or Chooks. For me, at least, in my opinion.
Well, I mean, the thing is,
beat Rabbitohs twice, just saying. So.
Yeah.
But there was certainly on the season, and there was no Latrell, so they are a much better side with Latrell. I mean, no excuses, but
Latrell adds a lot more to that side than what people even give him.
Well, Faraz has a range of beanies and jerseys, so he can just pretty much pick and choose who he goes for in finals. But for us, boys, who will you be supporting in your finals run?
Sharks.
All the way.
Sharkies.
See, this is a hard one. I don't know who really to follow.
He doesn't know which hat to put on.
I'm probably going to say the Storm, and not a lot of people are going to like me for it, but I don't know who else to really support.
I guess that's one piece of merchandise you don't own. So.
I guess it's a sort of a side that I don't have a lot of mates that go for them, and it's like I guess you're used to and all that. And with all the injuries they have, it'll be nice to see it. But
yeah, personally for me, a lot of people know that even though I'm a Broncos fan, I do like the Cowboys. Have a soft spot for them. Family goes for them, so I'll be on for the Cowboys in finals. But if not, I would actually like to see the Raiders do well, even though they took our spot. I mean, I don't know. I've always liked the Raiders.
That's their spot. We deserve to get knocked out like that.
Definitely. We'll quickly move on to the news side of things. Tyson Gamble, he's gone from the Broncos. He's inked a 2-year deal with Newcastle. Boys, do you reckon this is the signing they need, or do you reckon it's a bit of a failed signing?
This is a pointless signing. Makes no sense. I don't understand why the Knights need someone like Tyson Gamble. What the Knights needed to do was save bank, keep their youngsters, go through a refresh, and if I was the Knights, I'd be going to the open market. You've got these days a contract doesn't mean anything. You can leave whenever you want. If I was the Knights, I would have been looking at Kyle Flanagan.
Yeah.
He's got a future. Like, He's got experience, but he's also young, so he's got a future in the NRL. Milford's gone. And surely you can't say Gamble is their long-term 6.
Oh, yeah, I don't even know. They've got... Because I think the signings... Yeah, the signing, as soon as I heard it, anyone who knows, I'm a big fan of Tyson Gamble. I love Tyson Gamble. I love what he did, like the way he plays his game. But for me, I think the Knights need a genuine halfback. Like they've got...
I've heard they're re-signing... They're re-signing Phoenix Crossland, apparently.
Yeah.
Which is just dumb.
Oh, no.
Even I don't see him as a future.
Like, how many terrible halves do they need? I'm sorry, but Phoenix Crossland, Jake Clifford. Jake Clifford can be good, but he's been in he's just been in terrible form. He's been playing
New South Wales Cup.
Adam Clune. I mean, I'm a big fan of Adam Clune too, but he's not a genuine halfback either. Tyson Gamble. So they've got 4 halves there, none of them with very much playing experience, and none of them genuine halfback options to lead around the team. And I'm just think it's a failed signing. They should have tried to grab someone else. I agree. Kyle Flanagan would have been a great pickup in my opinion. Heck, I would have gone with Deja Vu over those people. Like obviously the Broncos have apparently snatched him up first. But I don't understand that. What about you, Faraz?
Look, I don't think it's the worst signing, but as a starting 5'8", I just don't know, man. Like, and especially for a club like the Knights, like, what does signing Tyson Gamble do for you? I mean, I just don't understand it. And like the fans who are like just giving it to the admins and everything, rightly so. What is this guy going to do? Like, a lot of people say, "Oh, this guy brings mongrel. He's got that passion." Shouldn't everyone have passion? Shouldn't all the players from 1-30 have that mongrel and passion? What's just passion, mongrel all about? Everyone has that passion and determination to win. Otherwise, you're just there for a paycheck. So, look, I don't think it's the worst signing. I think he could do a job coming off the bench, maybe as a ball playing lock. Probably we've seen that do at the Broncos. But as a starting 5'8", I just don't know. It's just not going to make them any better. I think they're just desperate at this situation. Like you said, someone like Kyle Flanagan could have been much better than what they are in this situation. We can clearly see how much they're missing Mitchell Pearce. Even if you can go hard for someone like Jackson Hastings, maybe, because I've heard that
yes,
and do it at the halves for the Tigers. They could have gone for someone like Hastings. Just don't know what Tyson Gamble going to bring.
I've actually missed one. So here's the beginning from next year. I believe these are the halves they have: Clifford, Clune, Gamble, Crossland, and Mann. Like, not one of them is a big name who can control a game. I reckon they're all 5'8". Except maybe Clune. I don't really think he's actually.
Man's all right, but he's not a 5'8".
Yeah, Man's not even a half really. He's played there before, but I reckon he's at locks his best position. But
he's a cubicle cleaner. That's what he is.
But yeah, I just think it's a failed signing from the Knights. You'd expect better if you're a Knights fan, and honestly, I agree with you. I mean, I'm a big fan of Tyson Gamble, but that's just a stupid signing.
Or do we see Kalen Ponga coming into 6?
Oh no!
Well, if Kalen Ponga goes into 6, that means they're playing Gamble at halfback, which I don't think he's not a halfback either.
They've signed someone with they've already signed someone with the ingredients.
To be honest, do you know what I would do?
What?
I would go Clune halfback.
Would you have Clifford 5'8"?
Yeah, you Clune halfback, Clifford 5'8", and then what I would do. Actually, no, change that. Clune halfback. You could put Ponga at 6, shift Gagai to fullback, and put Gamble in the centres, which was his position in Queensland Cup.
That's very true. That is true.
At NRL level, though, you really think he's going to have much of a difference at centre at NRL level, though? That's the thing.
Honestly, I think Gagai at fullback, that could honestly be a masterstroke as well, considering his defence for a centre, you have to admit, it's not up to scratch. No. He's not a good defender at centre. He used to be, but he's not now.
No. But it feels for us watching as well, he's restricted. At fullback, he can roam wherever he goes. That's when he's doing his best.
That's when
he's very good at tackle breaks as well.
That's what I'm talking about. Someone exactly like Dan Gagai, for example, you've already got struggling halves. Who's going to give him good ball? At least at fullback, he can get involved into the game properly.
Yeah.
The only problem I have with that is I feel like Ponga is a straight up fullback, and I don't think he's a
100%.
half.
I feel
But
like
at the same time, another thing they could do with Gagai is move him to the wing. Then he's back there for kick returns, gaining the meters he gets. He's not as restricted. I feel like wing's honestly his better position.
Well, I've also heard Newcastle signing Bevan French or something.
Yeah. He could be a good fullback option as well. Apparently, they were thinking of... See, that's what's wrong with Newcastle. I heard when they were thinking of signing Bevan French, they were either thinking of playing him in... I think it was either the wing, or they were even talking about playing him in the halves.
They're making signings that they don't need.
Exactly. They've got Dominic Young, who's a great winger, and they've lost Edric Lee, but they still have Inari Chihuahua, who I'm actually a big fan of. I reckon he's a great winger. But... and then they've got Gagai and Bradman Best in the centres. They were trying to get Ruben Garrick to play fullback at one stage as well, which means obviously they're trying to move Ponga into 5. It's just such a confusing mess at Newcastle at the moment.
Yeah. And, since Pierce left, it's just fallen down a heap.
Definitely.
I don't know if you guys talk about this much, but do you think if you were Newcastle right now, do you regret not going half for Milford, trying to convince him to stay?
No.
Nah.
His form hasn't been great. He's been all right.
Can it be any worse than what Newcastle have right now? Like, I think he's genuinely their only hope, and he was actually all right in the games he played.
I think he's all right, but the thing is, with Milford, they were playing him at 5'8", but really they were using him as a halfback. They were putting too much pressure on him again. They were trying to make him the chief playmaker. He's not that. We know, as Broncos fans, we know that he's not.
I know this is a wild call. But could you see Randall at hooker and Brayley in the halves?
That's just being desperate, honestly.
Yeah, that is very desperate. That would be very desperate.
I mean, Jake Turpin's played halfback. Don't tell me that.
Oh, don't remind me, please.
And then Boyd half.
Wasn't Jared Wallace named at hooker last round?
Yeah, for Gold Coast.
Yes, he was for Gold Coast Titans.
I'll tell you, people are getting desperate out here.
But hey, I just got to lay off my spot. I love seeing Newcastle and they're down 4. Sucked in.
Speaking of downfalls, I guess in a way, Taylor May was fined and suspended for an off-field incident, but the suspensions for next year, which is that's just protection at its finest, boys. I mean, what are your thoughts on this?
You know what? People are going to disagree. I know they are. And I know this is a touchy subject, but Taylor May has been done for assault. If you have seen the security camera footage, all Taylor May didn't hit him.
I was speaking about that.
Taylor May pulled him by the shirt and he fell to the ground. Like, Taylor May pulled him with force, clearly. But it's not like Taylor May followed up and was bashing the heck out of him.
Yeah.
I mean, understandable, suspension and fine, and yes, it should have been for the finals and not for next year. But also, it's like, I think people need to lay off him a bit about calling him all these unnecessary things when it. You've seen worse from NRL players.
I honestly think of it like this: he's like some guy's getting in Cleary's face and taking a video of Nathan Cleary and Nathan Cleary's telling him to please stop it. He's been polite about it. The guy keeps doing it. I think Taylor May has every right to just pull him by his shirt, and I don't even think he deserved to be. Sure, fine. I don't think he deserves suspension or to be fined for that. Really, I mean, if it's someone who's not an NRL player,
maybe a fine, fair enough. But yeah, if he's not an NRL player, do you see him getting any charges?
Exactly, but the main problem I have with the suspension is that, like, if they're going to suspend him, good, but why not counting finals?
Yeah, I was going to say, I think, Lockie, you need to send me the video because I haven't seen it myself, so it'll be much appreciated if you can. But I'm going to go off your word and say that he wasn't really much guilty, but that's my problem exactly. If you're going to suspend him, why not suspend him in the finals, but suspend him for the regular season games? Like, I just don't get it. I honestly don't get it. Like, when people try to defend saying that NRL aren't favourites to the top tier teams like Penrith and all that, like, You just go and listen. It's like, can you really find a case to defend the NRL here? Like, I just can't. I can't give you words. I'm just honestly shocked and disappointed. Like, I've got nothing else. Yeah, I saw that, Lockie. I saw that. But yeah, look. Back to the point. Anyways, yeah. Look, I'm shocked. Yeah. Look. Yeah, I've got nothing, mate. Shocking.
Next piece of news. Some good news for the Tigers. Finally, Joa Fahengawi extends his contract with the Tigers until the end of 2025. In my opinion, great extension. He's been one of their best players this year. Being one of their most consistent as well. What do you boys think?
Thank goodness he's going for the Tigers right now after that horror shot on Sunday. Well, it's pretty bold to stay with the Tigers for probably the end of your career, but it is what it is. Loyalty at its finest, and they've given him that chance to start. Look, a great player. He won't get much talked about because he's not even an origin player, but Fahengawi is such a hard-working index player for me. He works his ass off every game, every week. He's consistent. Just unfortunately, he's in a shit club, but it is what it is, and it's one of the fair few positives West Tigers fans can take out. Some loyalty there, but yeah, nothing else to say.
Definitely. And you, Lachlan?
I think it's an extension that had to be done for the Tigers' future. This man every week, hard on his sleeve, even though he gave me the finger at Suncorp Stadium. I still haven't lost any love for him. He's a warrior. He's an NRL forward at its best.
Breaking news, Lachlan just announces that Joa Fahengawi signed with the Warriors. No, never mind. Sorry, continue on.
Wait, why did he give you the finger? Did you say something?
Probably sledging.
So, it was from the scrum. Adam Dewey scored the try in the final 5 minutes, and then the whole Bale sitting at Suncorp was like yelling at him and giving him the finger and everything, and then he gave it back, and then he gave me a love heart.
Hey, Fahengawi, how's your fucking wooden spoon going, bitch?
Okay, moving on before Faraz starts a virtual fight with Joa Fahengawi. We'll move on to Jake and Tom Trbojevic set to walk out on Manly after constant frustration.
Won't happen.
Nah,
I'm not too sure how much I believe into this, but if that does happen, that's devastating, and I don't see Manly being anywhere near the team they are now.
Well, as soon as I saw this headline, I've already watched an interview with I think it was like DC and Tommy Turbo. I think it was with Danny Wilder or something, and they clearly said there was no noise happening. They're happy at Manly, and they're getting behind their coach, their captain. Look, when you don't make these headlines are bound to happen. I know there's a lot of talk going with the noise of Des Hasler and maybe Manly sacking him. I think maybe that's fair, but come on, like Jake and Tom are literally the heart and soul of those clubs. They're not just going to walk out just like because Manly missed their and all that. They clearly love the club and all that. Like the media just try to find news just for the entertainment. This is bullcrap. It's already been confirmed. It's just disappointing. We get Manly didn't have the best of years, but there's no need to be spreading false rumors like this. It doesn't help Tommy Toba or Jake at all.
Well said.
If Des, DCE, Tommy, and Jake leave Manly, the Dolphins will finish higher than Manly next year.
I already have the Dolphins finishing higher than Manly next year, personally.
What?
Maybe we can get an episode on ladder predictions up later this year, but
there's no way Jake and Tom. I there's a chance, but I don't see it happening.
No.
Speaking of the Dolphins, apparently if they do walk out, the Dolphins are actually already inquiring because the Dolphins have heard this story and have already gone and inquired about Jake and Tom. So that is big. That is very big.
They're not getting them. Simple as that. I just don't see them leaving, honestly.
Things just get worse for Manly, except this is Bus. He's on a bit of whoopee weed again because he's saying that Manly should Daly Cherry Evans. We spoke about this a few days ago. I don't think Buzz deserves a job ever again, and I feel like he's probably a bit past. I feel like he's got a bit of dementia at the moment. What do you boys think?
Well, before I touch on this, didn't Buzz say like that clubs should be fined or something for resting their players?
Yeah, that was last week. He said they should always play their best possible team, and now he's saying Manly should part ways with Daly Cherry Evans.
You want to start? You want to start first? I've got no word to once again.
I disagree, but agree. Like, I don't. I think Manly need to keep DCE around, but it wouldn't surprise me if Manly and DCE part ways.
Really?
Like, has DCE won a trophy at Manly?
Yeah.
2011.
Yeah, 2011.
Yeah, but all these top players are like coaches. Once, like, who would have thought the Rabbitohs would have parted ways with Adam Reynolds?
Exactly.
Who would have thought the Sharks would give Chad Townsend their premiership halfback and immediate release from his contract? Like, it's always the halfbacks, and if they want to start a fresh Manly, I think the first move they'll do is get rid of DCE.
Yeah, I can agree on that. Look, I think they'll keep him, but I don't think it's the worst thing if they do because DC's not really doing anything. Even without Turbo, like, you're expecting DC to step up as a skipper and guide the team, but he hasn't done jack shit ever since Turbo's gone.
And with Foreign leaving, is DCE going to get worse or better?
I don't think he's going to get worse, but I don't think he's going to get better, if that makes any sense. I just don't think Foreign is that type of like player that is guiding the team all around the park. He's the leader and all that, if that makes sense. But look, it's not going to make life any easier for Manly. I think Josh Schuster will move to 6. What do you guys think about that potentially?
I think Schuster's a 6 personally. I mean, I know he was playing there for quite a while in his juniors, but I don't think he's a 6.
Yeah, I don't think Schuster's a 6.
Interesting about that is that DC is also like the current Australian skipper. He captains the Maroons instead of Origin. Do you think DC will still be the Queensland number 7 come next year for Origin?
Maybe Origin, but definitely not Australia. The only people I see in the halves for Australia is Cleary and Munster.
What about Hunt in any chat?
Hunt will be at hooker or 14.
Yeah, fair enough.
Okay.
But it wouldn't surprise me if they do pick Hunt over Munster.
Wow. Is this okay? We'll move on quickly. Deja Vu reportedly signed on a training trial deal by the Brisbane Broncos. This is the second last piece of news before we end off. What do you think, boys? Good signing? Bad signing?
I actually rate this as a train and trial deal. I like how they've done that. Yeah, I think Arcee's got a lot of potential. We've seen come through to the Cowboys and the Warriors. Yeah, and right now the Cowboys are doing well. So it's coming off a successful system. So I think it'll work well. It's not too big. I don't think he'll crack into the team come the early rounds next year, but he can definitely be good depth if we need it, and he can definitely find himself in a spot later on in the year. So I like it.
Yeah, I think it's a handy pickup for the future if we can keep him around. I don't think he'll crack into the first grade team though, but like it's still a handy backup. Like if we can bring, it also helps that Reece Walters there with him as well. So Reece and Arcee can work together.
Yeah.
But yeah, like if we can bring Blake Moser through with Deja and Arcee, then like it's not a bad thing. It's a good thing for his future as well to be in, even though that they missed the finals. It's still a good system and club to be around.
Yeah.
Can I just ask, what positions does Arcee play? I know he's played 5'8".
I was actually just about to go into that. He's actually a very versatile player. He can play 5'8" halfback, and I think he can play centers.
I've seen him off the bench, I think, before, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, utility. He's very versatile, so he can play pretty much anywhere in the 1 through to 7. But I'm not too sure about fullbacks. Maybe 2 through to 7, he can play anywhere there. But yeah, he's a good signing. I'm big on the kid. He actually was a Brisbane junior growing up, so happy to have him back. I was excited when I heard the news that he actually got released by the Warriors. Then the same day, apparently Broncos signed him. So we'll see how true that is in the coming days. Hopefully, maybe Broncos might announce that they might not, like they did with Billy Walters earlier. But the last piece of news for this episode, the Jet has landed. James Roberts has announced his retirement from the NRL, but not rugby league in general, just the NRL. So what do you boys think about this? And what's been your favourite moment from his career?
As a Broncos fan, I'll miss this guy very much. Look, his career might have not ended the way he wanted to, ideally, but people forget how good this guy was. Like, when you talk about James Roberts for now, like, if you bring his name up, people just laugh and, like, just say, who was this, like, average rubbish player and all that just fell off with Brisbane and the West Tigers. But you just got to look back at a few years ago. He was playing state of origin footy. And there was a time where he was taking to the best centers in the comp. I remember that Roosters game against Latrell. He full on took it to Latrell, and he's actually come out and won battles before. This guy, and he's also played state of origin footy. He's played over 150 NRL games. He's played state of origin. Like, you cannot underestimate what Jimmy the Jet has done in the last few years. It's sad how his career fell off, but he had a lot of potential. I just wish he just kept that going, because on his day, he's one of the hardest players to stop, especially in attack. His defense got better at Brisbane. I think he played his best footy at Brisbane. That's just not me big bias. I think that's where he spent most of his career. That's where he fully developed into a full, complete player. He came from Gold Coast. He was good for them. Yeah, look, it's sad to see how he fell off, but you know, I'll always have fond memories of him in Brisbane colours, especially those tries he scored. My favourite moment has to be that Roosters game where we were down 22-16 and he scored that individual solo try against Latrell using his speed to score. I think that was such a pivotal moment of the game because it was so delicately poised. And that moment just made me scream out of my lungs. It was so good to watch, you know, like how he just found space so easily. And when he can find space, geez, he's hard to stop. That's why I called Jimmy the Jet.
Okay, well said. And you, Lachlan?
Yeah, it's very sad to see him retire from the NRL. Back in the day when he played for Broncos, he was my favourite player.
100%.
Every weekend, Jimmy the Jet was on the TV. I would love watching him play. It was just, it's like now when you see Reynolds and Staggs and all them, you just get excited. That was James Roberts for the Broncos. Even if you weren't even a Broncos fan, everyone just loved watching Jimmy the Jet 100%. Run the footy.
Very true.
So it's sad to see him go, but I wish him all the best in what he's going to do. I wish to see if he goes to Super League or something, but I don't know what he'll do. But my favourite memory of him would be, I mean, that try against the Cowboys was pretty good.
Was that the intercept in 2018 in Townsville?
You're
talking about the one at Suncorp when Milford kicked that 40-metre goal. The one off the scrum?
Yeah, it was the one off the scrum.
Yeah.
Right. And he broke straight through the line and just outran everyone.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that was one of my favourite try of Jimmy, but there's so many. The one against the Roosters where he ran around the outside and then cut Tedesco in half on the inside.
That was a brilliant try. I reckon he was one of the best centres to ever play the game when he was in form.
100%.
He's up there. He's a great player. My personal favourite moment, I think it might have been 2017 against the Titans. I think he scored a match-winning try.
Oh, the charge down. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that was sick. Loved
Brilliant
it.
try. Yeah. What a player he was. And, it's sad to see him retire, but I think, he should be going to the Super League.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure he got a hat-trick in that game as well.
I think so. I can't remember it too much, but I think he he did get a hat-trick, I believe. But, brilliant player. Absolute gun. And, it's sad to see him go. But that will just about do us on this episode of the podcast. We have actually got a few comments. Broncos 2023 premiers. I'd love to say yes, but I don't think so.
Let them make the A first.
That's my unbiased opinion. But I would love to see that, but I don't see it happening. What about you boys?
Brisbane.
Definitely not.
Let them first make the A. I think that next year is more about finding themselves and picking them up because they'll definitely be heartbreaking for the next few months. So it's about picking themselves up, and that's the real challenge for them. If they can overcome that mental awareness and toughness inside them, I have no doubt. They're still, for me, on the day, as long as they can still crack into the top 6. No doubt about it.
Next year, I'll be honest. Next year for me, for the Broncos, isn't to make the A.
What?
Next year for me, no. Let me finish.
Oh, sorry.
Next year for me is consistency. When you're consistent and you win 7 straight, your defense looks like the Panthers, and then you concede 113 points in 2 weeks. consistency is out the window. Then the mental side of the game comes into play, and then look where we are now. We're missing the 8. If you're consistent during the year, round 1 to 25, you'll have losses along the way, but that's not 50-point losses. That's 6 to 18 points max.
Yeah.
Consistency takes place, and you'll be in the 8 by the end of the year if you're consistent.
And I've told people you're absolutely spot on. I've told people this before. Next, regardless of what season you're in, you're going to have those good moments. You're going to have those really bad moments. We had those good moments when we were winning 7 in a row. We beat Parramatta in Parramatta. We beat South Sydney away when no one gave us a chance. That defensive against the Sharks, that was brilliant. And we had our bad moments, that 4-game losing streak, losing to the Cows at home 30-12, then losing to the Warriors, not even looking like first grade team. So we'll expect the good moments next year, but we'll also expect the bad moments. But it's about, like you said, can we keep that consistent enough to make the 8? Because it will no doubt, this season will no doubt affect them mentally so much. It's still a young squad as well.
But as Reynolds said, use the hurt as hunger.
100%. And they're going to come out firing next year.
And we got just 2 more questions. This is meant to be who he actually corrected himself. Who would they sign Luke Brooks? I think he's referring to the Knights. Manly or Knights. It'd probably be Manly because due to the time posted. I think either the Knights or Manly probably could use Luke Brooks. But Manly, I'm not sure who Manly would get. Honestly, I think losing Kieran.
How old's DCE?
Huh?
How old's DCE?
I think he's 31 or 32. He might be actually a bit more.
If I was Manly or the Knights, if he wants to come back to Australia, why not throw money at Josh Reynolds?
Definitely.
I think the Dogs will get him.
Sorry, DC is 33 years old. But yeah, I think I'm not sure. I don't see any point in
the sky's limit.
He's that old. He'll be fine now. Bro.
And last one, Luke says, RC, good signing, depth for man, and can slot into centre if players go down mid-game. I actually could see him playing a role off the bench if Kevin Walters isn't biased and plays his own son at 14. That's just that's guessing that he doesn't keep playing his son at 9. I like Billy Walters. I'm actually a big fan of Billy Walters, but no. I think RC's definitely a better 14, I think, in my opinion. Yeah. Do any of you boys have anything else to say before we end off?
Just going back to that comment, I think, look, as you said, no, he's a versatile player. So if we get injuries with our hooker rotation, I think if Billy, I don't know if Billy's reached on for next year, probably is, but even if Billy goes down, like you can put in Corey Pakes, then you got RC coming in, then you can have RC at 5'8" if Mam goes down. So there's still options there for Brisbane, which is a good thing. They've got good depth. It's about how they use them, though. Yeah,
definitely. Well said. I think that's where we'll end it off. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Been a great stream, a bit of a long one, 43 minutes, just about, nearly 44. But, we've enjoyed it. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for the support. And, we'll see you in the next episode. Cheers.